Hey there everybody. I'm doing a review on this air fryer, as you probably saw in the title, and I want to first off say this before I get into the video. If you're someone who doesn't want to hear a lot of talking and opinions, then you might want to just exit out of the video to begin with, because I've done reviews on products before other than what I usually mainstream do reviews on, and people have been irritated and said something rude or said I talked too much in the video. So if that's not for you, then don't bother watching it, because I'm just here to give an honest review, and there probably will be a lot of talking in it to, justify my points and things. So otherwise, I want to introduce you to this Cook's Essentials 5.3 quart air fryer. I got this on QVC probably back in early October, and it's been great ever since. I got it in the black. They make it in several different colors. It came with the cake pan, which I don't have out, and I'm not going to use it in this video, so if you also came for that, sorry. But I'm going to pretty much talk to you about the different things that I've made in it. I'm going to reheat a slice of pizza in here to show you how well it does with reheating things as well, but also to go over the different features and to really tell people what they are getting themselves into and the different features that are out there on the market that they'll see in other machines that this one doesn't have, or maybe this one does have. So the first thing I want to mention is the machine will not power on. It will not do anything if it's plugged in and the basket is not pushed into the machine all the way. The slider on this machine is designed so you don't press the button when the machine is pushed in, the basket's pushed in. You can't push the button to release the basket and pull it out and then everything go onto the floor. So that is the idea of this slider switch, and it automatically engages when you push the basket in. And when you push it out, I don't recommend pushing this in. Just pull the basket out by itself, and don't even touch this unless you are going to clean it, or if you feel that it's too cumbersome to empty the basket. But make sure that you have this setting on a surface so it doesn't fall and break, because I accidentally dropped mine. I pressed the button and I chipped it right there. But it works just fine. Nothing's wrong with it. So the unit itself has a nice non-stick-like interior, and there's a heating element up in there, and there's a fan above that. And if you look on the back of these machines, these air vents are where the heat escapes out the back. So keep that in mind if you're planning to keep this on the cooktop or your countertop and have it up against like wallpaper or something. It'll probably peel the wallpaper off or warp it. Don't put it too close to anything like medicines or plants or anything like that on your surfaces. And for those of you who are wondering, they've heard a lot of reviews about the interior chipping off these baskets when they've been washed. I do not wash mine except for the underneath side I wash out, and you can see I've used this earlier today. I wiped out the basket, but I didn't wipe out the bottom portion. The basket itself, I usually just wipe out, and it doesn't take a whole lot, just a wet or a damp cloth. I didn't use a damp cloth to wipe this out, pardon me, but that's how you really keep the interior in good shape. And mind you, this thing's been in several 100-degree heat, so there isn't any bacteria or anything transferring over, like salmonella. It's not going to kill anybody by not, washing this. And I would not put any part of this thing in a dishwasher. If you really want to wash it, I would just dunk it in the water really quick and then just very carefully and gently wipe the interior of it. I've seen the copper finished ones that they've had on like HSN and some of the power fryers, as the as seen on TV. I think they do in a copper, but I don't really know as to how well the copper holds up. So I'm gonna get a slice of pizza that is just from a local pizza joint that we have here, and I'm gonna set it there in the middle. You don't have to do anything special to it. You just pick the unit up, the basket, and you slide it in, and you can see that it shows that it's off. And that, like the thing that it first did when you put the basket in, that's just to show you that, everything's good to go, but it's in the off position. So to turn it on, you press the power button, of course, and you have your temperature is already set to 370, which is pretty much your average cooking time, and it will also show you how many minutes it's preset. So this is kind of like a preset setting, average user setting to cook a lot of different things. And you don't have to use one of the presets. You can just go and scroll through the different temperatures, and it goes in increments of 10, not 5s. So keep that in mind. If you are cooking something on a 5 or like a 4, or let's say you're doing 375, I would do 370. And I would even get into like an experimentational sort of thing. You can hear that it's cooling down even though I didn't have it turned on all the way. You may want to get a little experimental with cooking in one of these things because they do cook very fast. And because of the convection, which is really all these are, is a countertop convection cooker, it will possibly cook things on the outside to the point that it may burn them and not cook them inside thoroughly enough. I haven't had that problem yet, but I feel like it's possible with certain things that you're cooking. So I do notice when you reheat a slice of pizza, the crust tends to crisp up more than it was when it was fresh, but the pizza isn't burned. So that's something to keep in mind. And even though with this being a 5.3 quart, it doesn't cook fries, like a whole bag of fries, extremely efficiently, I have noticed. It will take probably just as long as it does in an oven if you dump the whole bag in it. So it's going to cook more than like a smaller air fryer, but don't expect it to be able to accommodate gigantic bags of fries and things because it still needs to circulate the air around in there. And if it can't circulate the air because you have this whole thing filled, then it's not going to do you any good. But imagine having a smaller air fryer, it won't even be able to do what you're putting in here. So just keep in mind, it may not be able to cook a whole family of 4 or family of 5 worth of fries, especially if you're not going by the suggested portions, which nobody does. So we had that problem with the fryer. I think it took like a half an hour to cook them the way that we wanted them inside the fryer, but we dumped the whole bag in there. But speaking of fries, your first setting is a French fry button. You have like a bird setting, so if you want to do a chicken or and it shows a bone. I don't know as if that means bone in only, but I would imagine that you can probably adjust this accordingly, and you can take the basket out and check things at any time and put it back in, and it will resume its temperature and it will resume its timing. So keep that in mind too. You don't have to redo everything. It's really nice with the digital ones compared to the ones that just have knobs. You have a steak button. Now, I have not made steak in this, but I have made burgers, and the burgers come out amazing. They come out perfectly done on the outside, juicy on the inside. All the fat goes right down through the basket and into the bottom. And the burgers, they're piping hot, and when you bite into them, the juice just comes out, and it almost scalds you, but I'm not complaining because it's one of the best burgers I've ever had. You have a fish button. Cheese, which I would imagine would just be to like melt cheese on top of nachos to do some cheese fries, or when you're done cooking your burgers, just put this on the cheese setting, which we'll see what this is. So that's 340 degrees, which is significantly less than some of the others. And you've also got chicken wing button, fry button, and bacon, or potato chips, I'm sorry. And you have a bacon button. Now you have a preheat function as well, and you also have 5-minute increment button if you want to do it that way rather than going through the individual minutes. So I do have a slice of pizza in there which has cheese, so I'm going to just do the cheese function, which is a really great reheating setting for pizza. It's going to melt the cheese, it's at a lower temperature so it's not going to burn things. And again, you'll get used to the way that it cooks, and you'll probably find yourself cooking things on lower temperatures than what the bag or the box suggests. And don't be surprised, which I'm sure manufacturers aren't going to start doing this anytime soon, that your air fryer is it doesn't give you air frying instructions on the back of things, like on the back of potato chips or the back of French fries or something like that, because it's not, you know, really mainstream yet. So this thing's going to continue to heat up. It doesn't take long. Soon we'll see it go down to the 2. And I really like using this in tandem with my pressure cooker. I'd probably use this just as much, if not more than that. And I don't keep this out on the countertop all the time. I actually keep it on top of the refrigerator. So you can see it's already down to the 2-minute mark. And this flashes just like you see it on the screen. That's not a trick of the camera. It just goes to show that the fan is spinning, and it alternates between temperature and the timer. So, and there are some units out there that have more features as well, that have larger capacity. I think I've seen the New Wave model at the Bon-Ton that has like a 10-quart capacity for, like, if you have a big family, it would probably definitely do a full bag of fries. And I'm trying to think of the other questions that I had seen on there. The basket is metal. The inside of this plastic portion, which you can hear, it's nice and solid, is metal. But this is all heat-resistant plastic, and it doesn't warp. I've seen in some of the other reviews out there, people complaining about the New Wave, or maybe it was the Pro Air Fryer that they show on TV, having problems with doing consecutive batches and continuously using it, and the unit not going into the fryer, the basket not going into the fryer very easily. So this unit doesn't have that problem, and I have never used oil with this. There is olive oil on the counter, but that was used for making bagels in the regular oven. But again, if you are looking at this specific model, this thing clicked if you heard it, so it's going to start to cool down. And it may, for the cheese, it may go to 0, the screen will shut off, but this will continue to light, and it won't beep yet. It will just finish. Okay, so it is doing that. It didn't beep yet, it's not done. I can smell the cheese, I can smell the garlic, it smells really good. But back to what I was saying, the oil, I've never used oil inside this unit. So it'll beep a couple times. Okay, so it's done. It says it's off. It will eventually go away. And you can see that it is nicely done. It's nicely reheated. We'll bring it over here. I don't want to fog up the camera. And you can remove this, and you can look underneath. There's no oil in it. This is all metal, but the outside front portion is plastic. Heat-resistant plastic, though. And the cheese is nice and squishy. It's nice and hot. Everything's brought back up. Listen to this. Crispy. Ow, that hurts. But in 3 minutes, I just reheated a pizza better than the microwave. So if you're somebody who can't eat cold pizza, I honestly love it. But the fact that I can reheat it so quickly, it changes a lot of different things. And again, it's very easy to clean up. For something like this, I'd take a damp paper towel, wipe it out, and put it back in. I've had this for almost 3 months now. There's no chipping or anything. And additionally, I think on QVC, I got this for like $89 on today's special. I would imagine they'll probably be having another one at some point soon. But I think this pack up is like $120 or something like that. But it's one of the biggest that you can buy out there, and I do recommend it. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this, please let me know, and I'll try and answer them the best that I can. If I left something out, definitely drop a comment. I'm really good about getting back with people. Thanks for watching.